Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. We'll be going over Leetcode problem number 620, which is not boring movies. We first look at the problem, we'll see that we have a table named Cinema, and that table includes the columns named ID, Movie, Description, and Rating. So then when we go down to our prompt, we'll see that we're supposed to write an SQL query to report the movies with an odd numbered ID and a description that is not boring. So we'll see here, we can just make some observations right off that we're going to want to select for two wheres. So that satisfies two different restrictions. So we want to make sure that the description is not boring and that it has an odd numbered ID. So if we go down to our test case, we'll see that from the cinema table, they outputted only 5 and 1, which are odd numbers. And then we can also see that the descriptions are not boring. So we have interesting and great 3D. And then if we go up to our cinema table, the full table, we'll see that boring was associated with number 3. And then 2 and 4 were also excluded because those are even numbers. So to start out, we'll look at, first we want to know that we select all columns. So for that we can just do select ID, movie, description, and rating. And that's just all of the column names for the cinema table. Then we can also do from cinema, and that's just our table name. So now that we get down to our where statement, we first need to think of how we're going to exclude odd numbered IDs. So first off, we can say where ID does not equal, and then now how do we get at even numbers or odd numbers? So I think about it as easier to exclude even numbers than to just select all of the odd numbers, but it's really up to personal preference. That's just where my mind immediately went. So to find out if something's even or odd, you can really just think about any odd number that you were to divide by 2, you would get a remainder. And that's something that you can easily get at in SQL just by knowing a little operator that's commonly found in coding languages, and that's the modulo operator. So the way we would do that is just do where ID, and then the modulo operator is just a percent sign. So this is going to really just return anything that's after the 0 place. And I'll give you a little example of that. So 3 divided by 2, that in most languages will give you just the integer unless you were to assign a float. So the way this would return in SQL would just be 3 over 2 equals 1. So now if we just want to get at the remainder of that, which would be 0.5, we would just do something like this. So 3 modulo operator 2, and then what this would equal is just 5. So the modulo operator just returns anything that's after the decimal place. So this becomes what our answer is, and then this is thrown away. So if we look at this in the context of our problem, we can do where ID modulo operator, and then we can just do 2 because we're just looking for a remainder when we divide by 2. Where ID divided by 2 does not equal 0. And what this is going to do is this is going to return all of those where the ID is odd. And we could also write not equal to as just this sign as well. Either one works, just up to personal preference on how you would use your does not equal operator. And then, so we have the first case selected. So if we run this, what we get out is only the odd numbered IDs. So we'll see we get out 1, 3, and 5. So we get in a cinema table with 5 IDs, we see that we excluded 4 and 2, which is getting out the odd numbered IDs. And then now we just want to combine this with another where about where the description is not boring. And we can just link where statements together using and. So in this case, it's going to have to satisfy both parts of our where statement to be included. An or statement would only have to satisfy one, but in this case we're going to use an and because we want to exclude based on both criteria. So where ID modulo operator 2 does not equal 0, so we have our odd numbers. And then now we're going to do and description. That's just the column name from our cinema table. So we're just going to do and description does not equal boring. Now if we run this, we'll see that we have 1 and 5. And the reason this is still wrong is because we see this part of our prompt. They want the results returned in descending order. So that's again just going to be one more step for the problem. And we're just going to use an order by statement. And all an order by statement does is it'll let you decide how you want the data presented. So we're going to order by a single column, and in this case we want to order it by the ID column. Oh no, we want to do rating. I missed that from the prompt. We can see that here. Result table ordered by rating in descending order. So order by rating, and then if you were to just run this, it's going to give you the same values as it gave you here, because the default for order by is going to be ascending values. So to change that to descending, all we have to do is just type DESC, which is short for descending. And then now if we run this, we'll see that we return the data how we want to. So we have 5 and 1. Because ID of 5, the rating was 9.1, and with ID 1, the rating was 8.9. So now there's one more thing here that we can do to clean this up a little bit more. We can actually replace all of the column names with just a star. And this is just a quick little syntax thing for if you want to return the entire table, like all column names, instead of limiting it to a few columns. And then this will run the exact same. It's just a little bit of a shortcut on how to get at all of your column names. And this will satisfy all test cases. Thank you all for joining me today, and if you found the video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss any Leetcode problems moving forward. And if you were to walk through this problem in a different manner or would like to suggest a video for the future, please leave that down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And this was Leetcode problem number 620, Not Boring Movies, and I'll see you in the next one.